It's morphin' time, huh? Tiger Sword.
Alright, let's find a way to make that happen.
What should we do?
It's morphin' time. White Ranger power. You're in 5. Ready. Red Lightning turbo power. Dino Thunder. Power up.
Greetings, kids and nerds, I'm the Universe of Might and Nerdy. Now, every single November 19th, I like to take a look at something to honor my great hero and my idol, Mr. Jason David Frank, as you can see from the display here, and also my t-shirt. He was my childhood hero, basically really, in a sense, technically raising me. And that's why every November 19th, I do something in honor of his memory. And I think today is a great honor of memory, as I ask you guys what specifically you'd like to see me do to honor the memory of the man that's no longer with us. And I had a suggestion between Green was Evil, White Light, Back in Black, or Forever Red. And you guys have went with Green was Evil, which is where Jason first started, so it's a very nice nod. So, when he was 20 years old, little did he know, he'd conquer the world with just one little small role. So, let's get into this. So I travel back to 1993 and see what the 20-year-old had up his sleeve for us at the time. As such, let's dive into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, Green was Evil, and we have 5 parts to go through, so I'm gonna try to summarize every episode as quickly as possible. So let's dive into Green was Evil and see just exactly where Jason started and where his legend began. So, here to honor Jason David Frank, so let's begin. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Green was Evil. After the theme song, we go to a karate competition where Jason is basically involved in. But not only is Jason involved in, they get to talk about the man, myth, and legend himself.
Need all the help I can get. Man, that dude is pumped.
Who is he? I don't know.
Unfortunately, this grabs the attention of Rita Revolta, as Rita decides that she wants to do something with this ranger. And what exactly? Turn him evil. As we skip straight into the competition where Jason and Tommy fight each other, with Jason winning, but Tommy getting kinda the better of Jason, proving that they can be perfectly evenly matched. As Tommy and Kimberly make a date together, this is back when they were known as Timberly, then so the young Tommy leaves Kimberly and her fanfiction about what he's going to do to her later. As Tommy is swallowed up in the herd of putty patrollers, as they don't get the best of him, but they end up capturing him for the greed of a poacher. And Tommy, unfortunately, is kidnapped by the evil witch, and with there she uses her evil spells and evil power to turn him an agent against all good doers. He becomes an agent for all that is evil. Tommy becomes Rita's agent within the evil forces. He becomes the evil Green Ranger that she wants him to be. And the way that she does this is by having Tommy lay down flat upon a thing and get mummified. Yeah, I know that's Burai from View Ranger. It's even the same actor, and then they switch it over to the American footage, but even still, it's still quite funny and also kind of ridiculous. As the evanization works, apparently, and Tommy gets the Green Dragon Coin, as his first mission is to shut down Zordon and Alpha once and for all. As Tommy breaks into the command center, because he has a power coin, he can do that, and though he shuts down Zordon and Alpha so that they can never call the Power Rangers, ending Part 1. Part 2 opens up straight exactly where Part 1 ended, Zordon and Alpha gone and dismantled, as the Rangers are trying to figure out who or what exactly is behind this heinous crime. To honor her evil Green Ranger, Rita decides to have a challenge for Tommy so he can get the Sword of Evil. With the Sword of Evil, Tommy will not only be stronger, he will also be able to fight off any and all of the Power Rangers within his grasp, because that's a thing that he wants to do apparently for his mistress. As Jason and Tommy have a little chat especially about how Jason can't hang out with Tommy, Tommy instead teleports him straight to Goldar where he can keep him inside of his dark domain. And now Jason is caught within Godard's domain, where he wants him. And what's worse is that he has his power morpher as well as his power coin, ending part 3. Part 3 begins exactly where Part 2 ended, so I said Part 3 at the end there. And yes, Godard and Jason had their epic battle, with Godard having Jason. As Rita summons the help, and also evil powers, of Scorpina, called Lucy, yes, seriously, and Zoo Ranger, but she calls upon the power of Scorpina to help her aid her in this battle, and thus makes her dark forces even stronger. As Tommy intervenes with Jason and Goldar, and thus he wants to fight Jason for himself, one-on-one, as the two combatants have it out in their own styled Mortal Kombat. Meanwhile, without Jason to lead them, the other Rangers are of course worried about what's going to happen to them. Of course, Jason is not the only leader, but still without his leadership, they're kind of broken. Which of course, the Green Ranger challenges them all to a battle, which of course, none of the Rangers end up doing too well because the Green Ranger powers at the time were the strongest in the world. I mean, you think that the Rangers would know this ahead of time, knowing that Tommy's powers were completely and utterly kind of invincible before this point, before the Rangers absolutely would have gotten the shit kicked out of them, but absolutely not, because the Rangers just end up getting freaking totaled and dismantled by the Green Ranger, thus he basically destroyed them all. But the Rangers rescue Jason, with Jason kind of realizing who the hell is this green dude, what the fuck is his problem, and why the hell is he kicking the crap out of all of us? While stuck in the dark dimension, Tommy overhears that he will be granted one great wish that will basically aid the dark forces even more, but we'll have to wait until the next part to find out what that is. We begin part 4 kinda standardly with a giant evil Goddard destroying the rest of the city, because, well, I guess they couldn't afford Godzilla to destroy the city. As unfortunately, the morphing grid is down. Yeah, that's an actual thing that happens here, as they had to end up fixing the morphing grid, otherwise they cannot go and save the city or stop Goldar. Meanwhile, the Rangers are having a fight of their life as Rita and Goldar are there to try to stop them, but of course they have to try to figure out how to keep them preoccupied at least until they can get their powers restored. Not only that, but poor Broken Skull has been kidnapped by Rita and Goldar and the party because, okay, quite frankly, I don't know, but we have to have the comedy aspect up in Power Rangers, so we're gonna have Broken Skull in there as well. As Rita's evil plan works, she eclipses the Megazord, which makes it powerless. So the more that the Megazord loses power, the much more weaker that it becomes and the powerless it becomes. But even despite the Megazord having pretty much of a hard time, it still holds off Scorpina, which looks very ugly, by the way. I mean, the actress that plays her is beautiful, don't get me wrong about that, but her monster form is just... why? And also they do a good job of fighting off Goldar. That is until Rita's ultimate master plan comes to fruition.
Gotta be fucking kidding.
So yeah, Rita turns a Green Ranger into a giant monstrosity. That's a thing that she done to him apparently, and he starts destroying the Megazord alongside of Scorpina and also poor Goldar, leaving the Rangers powerless. So with the Zord destroyed, the Rangers will morph back to their civilian form as they get to watch as the Megazord and also the Dinozord burn within the volcano below. Part 5 begins as the Rangers find out it's really Tommy as the Green Ranger, as all of them could not believe it, but it should have been pretty fucking obvious for the rest of them. As for Rita, she's celebrating it up on the moon, but she wants to give her precious Green Ranger something else in return for what he had done. Some reward, if you would, for all of his favors. So she decides to summon something that had been lost in the ocean since the beginning of time. An ancient Zord that must be reawoken. And so Tommy gets my favorite Zord within all of Power Rangerdom, and he introduces him in the most epic way imaginable. And so with Dragon's Lord awaken, the forces of evil get even stronger. As Dragon's Lord is one of the most strongest Zords upon in the world, and especially in MMPR. And with his newfound Zord, Tommy is gonna start playing around with it. Because that's exactly what people do when they get a humongous new toy. They play around with it, experiment with it, and see just what the hell happens. And so Tommy uses the power of his magical flute, or his dragon dagger, mind you, to start playing around with the dragon's wood and invoking him upon destroying the ranger. Until eventually, somehow, never really explained, but until eventually the dinosaurs are resurrected like Jesus Christ, that's something unforeseen, and so they decided to start fighting against the Dragon Lord, trying to protect everybody and also making what good that they can with what little power that they have. That is until the battle eventually takes place down under the ground, with Tommy and Jason fighting against each other. As I pointed out earlier, Tommy and Jason are always seen as well, fighting almost to the point where nobody could determine winner, which is what happens here. The two of them fight as best as much as they can, but unfortunately there is no victor at first. But eventually Jason overpowers Tommy to the point where he gets rid of this sort of darkness, with Tommy not realizing what darkness that he had brought into the world, but they forgive him for what he done.
What the fuck is happening here?
I mean, with all due respect, yeah. What the fuck is happening? Because after Tommy was evil for a certain amount of time, they just up and forgive him. Yeah, I know that Zordon explained, oh, but Tommy was underneath her power or whatever, but I mean, even looking back at it, you can kind of be judgmental and be like, well, they should have done something, at least something, any frickin' thing to basically, kind of get his trust with the Rangers back. I mean, technically, he did that by the time that he served with them as green and white, and also again as red, and then also again as black. But even still, you would think for a first outing that he shouldn't have been forgiven at least that quickly. But the Rangers are easy to forgive Tommy, and they also agree that even if he helps them out, they'd forgive him even more. And so the Power Rangers go from 5 to 6.
Dragon Sword! Mastodon!
Pterodactyl!
Triceratops!
Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus!
But not only that, Tommy had gifted something else with the Dragon Zord. He told to play a specific song, and the Dragon Zord and the other Zords will combine together. By the way, you gotta love how Tyrannosaurus over on the side is like, oh man, I wish I turned into something that awesome, as they turn into one of my favorite Zords of all time. Behold, Dragon Zord in fighting mode.
I think I just peed a little.
And so our five-parter ends as Tommy is sworn into the Power Rangers, sworn to always keep his identity a secret, fight against the forces of evil, and never grieve out his true identity, as we end.
Power Rangers!
And that was Green with the Evil, the first introduction of Tommy, and it does it still hold up? Well, it's been 30 plus years later. I think it's celebrated its 32nd or 33rd anniversary, so it still holds up. It's not the best episode in a run, I can definitely say it. Like, it's still goofy in the concept, but what it set it up became legendary for just so much more. The fact that we introduced a young 20-year-old who, not even at the time, he probably didn't realize it, but he would change the world entirely. His foundation at Thomas Tommy Oliver, just at only 20 years old for this young actor, he built a life upon that and built an icon which, still to this day, had never been beaten. Even, yes, when he unfortunately committed suicide, which, by the way, I want to point out that this video also is a very positive thing towards suicide awareness. Like, if you feel like you don't belong, if you feel like no one understands you, please call the local suicide hotline and talk to someone. Never feel like you're alone. You are okay. You're not different. Everybody out there loves you, and you are worth someone's time. So even if you feel like the end of the world is against you, or even though you feel like the end is the only answer, please talk to someone and know that someone out there does care about you, does love you, And whether you know it or not, they want what's best for you. So please, for any and all out there that is suffering from suicide, please contact your local suicide awareness hotline and let them know that you're hurting. And unfortunately for poor Jason, that's what ended up happening to him. He was just stuck in a rut of depression, felt like basically like the world was against him, no one was really understanding him, and thus ended up in a very dark place, which led to what happened 3 years ago. We all miss him, but what's powerful is that his icon, what he left behind, is just so damn powerful to this day. No one has even come close to touching it. This video also goes out to Jason's wife and also his daughter Jenna, who Jenna still to this day, if she's watching this, you are doing your father proud. You're really doing him proud. And I would love the chance to meet this young woman, get to talk with her, and just get to spend time with her because I just would love to talk about what she thought of her own father's legacy that he had left behind here, that she is continuing to this day. And yeah, maybe if a Power Rangers thing happens, maybe she can basically live on her father's legacy. Only time will tell. But anyways, we I am dressed in kind of fashionable, but we are not exactly done here. Because, well, why I have done this video, one of you might be wondering, but yes, it's true, we're still in the Christmas season, so let's let that Christmas spirit glow. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what was your favorite part of Green was Evil. What was your favorite moment? Mine had to not only be when Tommy joined the team, but the introduction of Dragon Zord, which became my favorite Zord of all time. So let me know what your favorite moment was down in the comments down below. I can guarantee for a lot of my female viewers it'll be when Timberly was born. Probably. But anyway, more Christmas themed content is on the way aside from the top 10 coming up to you guys on Thanksgiving. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be the universe. I want to keep you on. And for Jason, we still miss you, buddy. And to his family, his legend and his legacy will never die. So thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in you. I want to keep you on. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I make an upload. And follow me at Twitter with links in the description down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in you. I want to keep you on. And until next time, guys, and as always, take care. Please speak to someone if you are suffering depression or suicidal thoughts. And until next time, as always, please remember to keep you on and take care.
They're all totally us.